Hello, hello, hello. Yo, what up?
Hey,
How y'all doing?
what you
Chilling by the
doing?
way.
Child. How was y'all's weekend?
I had a very black weekend. It was Juneteenth, and we celebrate the fathers and the paternal lineages. We elevated those specific ancestors, so it was very black weekend for me.
A very black weekend. I love
Like,
to hear that.
yeah, that felt good. Yeah, I didn't really celebrate Father's Day this year because my dad's like he's on some like changing his like religion type thing, and he's like he's not like a Hebrew Israelite or nothing, but he like starting to like go lean in those kind of directions. So he like denounced all holidays. But my weekend was good though.
Okay.
The Juneteenth they had something at the tower over in Orange Mound. So that was really cool to see everybody come out for that. So that was beautiful. So that everything was cool.
Yeah. Well, good. I've been in Nashville since Friday. And I think we talked about this. My friend was having surgery today. So um I basically held Father's Day earlier in the week for
Mm.
the husband, and so that way we didn't miss out on anything. So I've been just like really focused in on what's going on, like her recovery and everything. So I'm like super
Mhm.
tired, and I am broadcasting from a hotel room, which I never thought I'd say that. So it's a
And then
little
just
different for me.
kind of
Yeah, it
perfect. You got like
is.
wild, well,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It
You still
sets a
got like
different
you still got
tone.
that ambiance going with the lights, the color, the blue, and then the red keeps coming. So that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
love that.
it's my ring light doing what it wants to do. It won't stop. So I was like, I guess you're supposed to do this.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm
I
letting
like
it
it.
do it.
Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah. So like but the thing about it, like I'm really grateful for this weekend. And I know that like, yeah, my friends had the surgery and everything, but seriously, I think I just needed the time away because I feel like I'm a little less stressed and I probably, you know, could appreciate doing more of this. But yeah, she's doing good. She's recovering. So she's under her meds, and I wanted to make sure she got all the rest and make sure that the staff is taking really good care of her. So yeah, so no need to be bothering her. Anyway, enough about me. Um, so y'all, this is week 3 of the Sex Magic series, and so we talked about the other components of the Sex Magic series. We kind of set the tone for everybody, kind of giving them an idea, a little overview of what to expect, what to do, what to think about, what to prepare for. And this is just adding on to um, those things. So this week we're talking about enjoying the actual act, right? And we're also talking about chanting. And I think that this is a really good opportunity for us to just kind of get into like, how different methods, I guess, because when people think about chanting in particular, like people think that chanting is like you have a particular phrase or statement that you need to say. And, you
mhm.
know, and I want you guys to kind of really expound on, how you can tailor that chanting for yourself individually, like to make it unique to you and your needs as a person who is about to be a practitioner of sex magic.
Mhm.
So it's on y'all. Come on, light, come back down. Okay, I brought that back down.
Crazy. What
Cam,
you
you want to
feel?
go first?
I can, sure. Yeah, that works. Okay, so for me, for me with chanting specifically, I always feel like, yeah, I mean, always communication first. Like what and setting intentions is always the first thing for sure. And also, I feel like I like to ask a lot of questions, so I'm always curious. Like, is like somebody chanting like just before? Does somebody want to like say things like, and even I mean, chanting isn't always the word that I use. Like mantra. Sometimes I say mantra, affirmation, whatever, you know. So those are just different terms too for everybody to know, in case somebody says something different another day or whatever. But it's like, are we doing it before and setting that intention and saying it to each other in each other's eyes? Are we doing it during? And then we're just like making it bigger and bigger and bigger. Like I was talking about last week, like just saying things or making the sound louder and louder and louder. Or are we like trying to set an intention to synthesize and synchronize at the end and like have the end result be the happening, you know, the affirmation being said, like when we both are at a climax, or when she's at a climax, or when I'm at a climax, depending on what's going on. So I think that's always for me, that's always the place I like to start with, asking like, what are we doing here? Are we doing it pre, during, post, all the above? Let's get tuned in together. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, because I am not much of a chanter.
Okay.
Because I gotta concentrate. I'm such like a mental person. So like I think for me it is thinking and feeling through the motion versus saying it out loud. Like, yes, you can like coax me, like, because I was like, you know, goes kind of back to not only communication, like Cam said, but also like, what's your love language? So are you coaching me, like, are we coaching me to that climax, and then, you know, the whole time you like think about, like, you coaching me like, oh, and like think about when we get to the peak, this is going to happen, or what are you doing like that? Or are you just like annoying me? Like, you know, it depends, right? And so for me, I tend to think it versus saying it, because it would throw me off. Like, I would rather for me vocalizing like the moans, but as I get to that place, I need to think it and feel it and visualize it, you know. And for some people, I mean, it depends on what you're doing the sex magic for as well. So if you're trying to like manifest money, that's something different. But if you're trying to heal something through that, I think chanting is good, because, you know, ritual and repetition is good. It makes things stronger. So if you're trying to like loosen up the sexual energy in your roots and chakras, maybe you really do need to say or chant affirmations or intentions like multiple times. But, you know,
yeah. Well, okay, so let me just build on this for a minute. I want y'all to follow me on this thought process. Like, what I'm thinking about though is like, I hear you, Khadijah, you saying, you know, I need you bothering me like this. Like, let me get into my, you know, let me find my own center. I don't want to be vocal. I may say it within myself, but not out loud. But then do we hand it over to the partner so that the partner can maybe be more vocal for you, so that your focus is mostly on the moans? And because that's what channels you, that's what you're focused on. Like, basically, are we assigning roles when we are participating in sex magic? Like, are we going to make sure that, like, okay, so once I get to this point where I am no longer able to articulate with words, your job is to do this. And so that way we can, you know, raise the vibrations by actually having roles within that particular moment, so that we can, you know, make things all nice and put a little bow on it.
Yeah, it goes back to what Cam was saying about communication. So, most definitely. Like, listen, third point, don't bother me. I'm not gonna say too much. Like, try to get there. Like, so it goes back to that communication. Like, and then also it goes back to what we were saying previously. Like, it's important to, if you do with a partner, that your partner knows you, or actually y'all have come to this agreement on how things should go, so it don't mess up the energy.
Right, 1,000%. Yeah. That's good. That's a good point. And I think too, like at a certain point, I feel like sometimes, like, because I communicate hella, so I would just say like my job was to keep vocalizing things to gas her up, basically. That's what like just to make her feel so amazing because I feel like she's bringing it she's birthing into the reality, and like always, I'm the container, so it's just like I'm the container or the boundary, and I'm like, you're like, this is great, this is amazing, just like pouring that into the person however they like that. I probably will already know if I'm already engaging with them. So it's like I'm just like reverberating that around the space, and they're bringing it through. So that's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
say I agree.
Okay. I hear you. I feel you. I'm following.
Communication.
Because I guess. Yeah. Go ahead, Jane.
I was gonna say it's important that you know your partner. It's like using tools. If you don't know, the more you utilize a tool consciously over time, the more precise you are with your with whatever craft you're doing. So same thing as it pertains to Sex Magick. You have to be in tune with the person. Communication is like majorly huge. I have, Gemini like 5 times my natal chart as well. So communication is major. You got to talk. You also got to pay attention to, like you said, moans. And when you talk about everything beforehand, kind of like setting up the whole process. We're going to do this at this time. We get to this point, I want to do this. You do this, I'll do that. Like, I think it's, like you said, it's wise that to delegate. Yeah, to delegate, roles in the situation. If, like you said, if one person is not verbal, and the other person can focus on a word, then it'd be easy for that person to do that one thing, and then the other person, continues to substantiate and provide the vibe, and you just build from there. It's teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work.
So I have a question. Just kind of go off track, but still, the last session was really talking about like setting the scene. Have any of you all experienced where if you are having music, if you have music in the background, do you also, I guess you like sing or chant to that in a possibility with your Sex Magick, especially if it pertains to something similar or to heighten the mood? This is just a random question that came to my head. I'm asking for myself.
Yeah, Cam, you want to talk?
Yeah. So that's, to me, that's very, I'm usually intentional if I'm singing something in the background. Either I'm in very, very, very intentional and we literally put on like a specific mantra for prosperity, or I'm having at it and I'm kind of like, it just kind of comes up, especially if it's like a certain point in the song that feels like it would match what we're doing. Then I would sing it, right? And that would just be like spontaneous. It wouldn't be thought out. I would just sing that part because it's going with what's happening, and it would just add to the energy. But other than that, it would have to be like a very specific mantra, like very, very specific. Right. Usually a prosperity mantra. Yeah.
So for me, like as I set up a ritual, like we literally sit down and discuss what we're trying to manifest. If it's more money, then than money. So I do a lot of candle magic and sigil magic. So like my candles are like covered in different sigils for different purposes. So we talk about, what we're going to say and do at certain times. This is our mantra. This is our, chant. And then as we get to that, even if it's not verbal, it's something that you have in your head, especially at the time of climax, and if any of you all are tantric practitioners, then like it's the job of the male to please. So it's like you're constantly coaching yourself and your partner through orgasms to help manifest.
Thank you for you all's input on that. I appreciate it because they were just a random question that came to my head. Because for me, I'm not a person like that, like would want music in the background necessarily. Like I said, I'm trying to concentrate. Let's create an atmosphere. And so it's interesting to see other people's perspectives and how they go about sex magic. Um, so yeah, that was my question. So back to Heather, Maestro, or
Yeah.
anybody else
Also,
has something to say?
I'll also say
So-
if you do chanting like with somebody beforehand,
Mhm.
then that will be like already reverberating. And then if you play in the background really low, then it could still be in there like nice without it being distracting. So just like maybe play with that, open invitation to play with it.
Yeah. Okay, similar to like how I do meditation music. Okay, great. Okay, cool.
Also,
I might
like,
add that, you know.
yeah, right. Yeah. Add it under, add it under the sexy shit. Something that, like, depending upon the partner that you have, like some women, you know, while you're making love to them, want you to sing to them. Like if you could focus on that heightens the vibration as well. It don't even have to be necessarily a chant about the particular magic that you're doing. It just be something that, you know, takes your partner to another level. And then you sing
Now,
to them.
men who can't sing, don't sing to your
Should
woman.
not be singing.
That was never that suggestion.
Absolutely not. That's up there with
It's
the
not your
Tarzan
ministry.
moment.
You're right.
That's not. Don't do it.
You don't fuck up the whole vibe.
Yeah.
Okay, I would, especially if you can't sing. I just be like, get up off me, please. It's fine.
Sir, please go home. Just go home. It's fine.
Drop the mic. Step away from me.
You just go at this moment. No, like, so here's the other thing that I thought, because we're talking about all these different things, I'm also thinking about the idea that, you know, how much you're able to make adjustments when need be. Like, for instance, if this chant is not working for you and your partner, you may both have agreed upon this is what's going to happen and everything. But in the moment you realize this ain't that. Where do you make your adjustments? How do you make your adjustments? Do you make adjustments?
Gene, you want to go first?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely you make adjustments because I mean, you know, you're creating a magical situation, so you don't want to be stuck on, you know, something that you thought would work on the front end, and you realize, hey, all right, this shit ain't working. You need to switch this vibe up just a smidge, tilt it just that way a little bit, and then yeah, so absolutely, you have to make adjustments.
Yeah,
and that's communication in the moment. Like again, the big part of sex magic is staying in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess that's the questions that I'm going to ask, because you know, when you're talking about staying in a moment, a lot of that has to do with being able to also read your partner, and let's really be like completely honest that most people are not reading their partners.
Yes.
They think they're reading their partners, but
Right.
they actually do not
Right.
read well when it comes to their partners and what they need. And what I also find, like especially in my line of work, that people tend to do what they want done and not what the other person needs. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So to be in tune with your partner takes a little bit more deliberate, you know, work conversation.
Mindful, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you really do have to be very much in tune, in the point where you understand that even though like this may actually feel great to me, but I notice my partner isn't very receptive to it. So also just taking that into what we're talking about, you know, that's why I'm saying the adaptability that you have within those moments.
Yeah.
You know, are you able to do that?
it goes back to, so first, let me back up. From the spiritual side, I always say when you are doing any type of ritual or anything, you need to call your higher self and your energy back to you. You need to call your protection in, because if you have your heart, we're mind, body, soul, and spirit. And so, like, a lot of times we don't realize when, like, our higher selves and went off somewhere else. But when you are doing something very intentional, like I always say, call your higher self to you, and maybe during that moment it can help you really pay attention to like what your partner needs. To be completely honest, 9 out of 10, if I'm doing Sex Magick, it's gonna be by myself, because you're not about to mess up my stuff, right? But at the same time, that seems a little harsh, but I'm just saying, we're being truthful. But in that moment, you need to, like, as a medium, I would even call his higher self. If he doesn't, like, forget, because you need to pay attention. Because I always think about, even if you're doing like regular sex, is that person even attentive doing regular sex? Goes back to if you need to be doing Sex Magick with the person. If they're not even attentive during regular sex, first of all, I'm not communicating why are you having sexual relations with this person, and you most definitely don't need to be doing Sex Magick, because it's not going to keep them there. I don't know who heard that, but that Sex Magick is not going to keep them there with you. Okay, sorry.
I'm gonna just add a little bit to some of this too, because I've had conversations with people, like I said, offline. I have conversations with people. I'm like, you got to be careful what you say when people are in those moments and when you're connecting with them, because it's one thing to chant, it's another thing to be just randomly blurting things and you wondering why people knocking at your door at 2:00 in the morning. But
big facts.
Because I'm like, see, and this, and let me say this, because this is where I get that from. You know how folks will be like, it gets so good to me. I said I love you this time, and now, oh girl, think we together.
The fuck?
And I'm like,
no self-control.
But you literally said this in a very vulnerable and spiritual moment between the two of you, and you're wondering why you're getting the results that you've gotten.
Yeah.
Right. Because that jump went all the way in there.
Right.
Yeah.
And you continue to say you love them over and over again while the other party was climaxing.
Right. Yeah. So you're creating a reality.
So what's
you're
going
creating
on?
a reality. That's why you have to be conscious of the work that you're doing.
That's why you buying 4 new tires.
My tires.
I was gonna say something, but I was like, that's not smart, but never mind.
Yeah. That goes back to the adaptability. If you're not adaptable, then you'll just blurt out or like do whatever.
Yeah.
I always say less projection, more presence.
Say that.
Projection, presence. That always gets the job done.
Goodness. So there's a lot of projection happening. That's why half them be on Mari now. But
throwing chairs at each other, being chased up the hallway,
screaming and carrying on.
Listen, my name is Bennett, and I'm not in it. My name is Clyde, and I got a slide. That means I'm not gonna come in on it.
There's a lot of that going on, though. And I'm like, you have to be very protective of your energy. Okay, this also has nothing to do with what we're talking about today, but I was watching Ready to Love, and one of the guys was talking about how he was talking to the girl and he's looking to find him a wife and blah, blah, blah. And they got really upset because he was saying, I'm practicing semen retention. And she was like, I'm trying to figure out why you're trying to.
Part of tantra, yeah, that's part of tantra, yeah. Come on.
And she was very upset because he was like, I'm really focused in on I want to do things differently. I want to do things with my wife, and I want to have the babies the next time I do the semen thing. And she was like, look, I don't know why you trying to hold that energy. You can use that energy on me today. And I was like, that's why right there.
Because you ain't ready for that.
That's why. I just wanted to throw that out there since we were talking about all this.
Just trying to get the man leak his jing.
Right.
Is it crack? Is it crystal meth? I'm trying to figure out what be going through these people's heads.
Sometimes.
So Nick,
Sometimes.
a whole bunch of fucking creative ass energy that you're absorbing. So it just, further substantiates what you already have. So, man, god damn.
Yeah. I just want to throw that out there while we were having this conversation or anything, because everybody was like, "I've never heard of that before. He just made that up," and I was like, "Really?
No,
It's like y'all don't."
But were these the same people who do not have the same anatomy? Because I always say like people love to like overstep. Like I don't like when people talk on a uterus too quickly. So have you had one?
Right.
Okay, no. You had a penis? Okay.
Exactly.
Well,
no, this is just a general crew of people. And what I found interesting is that one of the people that was speaking on that particular subject deems himself a relationship expert. So I was like, oh, wow.
Is it self-proclaimed or did they go to school? Or like did they get any type of training? Okay, never mind.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All you gotta do is get a certificate. Sometimes they say so. You gotta just have discernment with who you're working with. You know what I'm saying? And some people, and because they might work on relationships in this area of life, and then they don't know shit about this part. So we always gotta have discernment too. I gotta bring that in.
Yeah, and I think that was the thing, like the whole conversation. And far be it from me to question anybody else's certifications and things of that nature, but my whole thing. For a person like me, I can't comment on things I don't know about. That's typically my rule. If I don't feel confident enough to go into it or talk to you about it, I'm going to say, hey, that's a great question. I don't want to get it wrong. So let me come back to you with, some more information so we both can learn. How about that? Yeah. And so that's usually how I deal with things. But, I saw a couple of people and not just one, but a few who kind of like stepped out there in life and was like, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. He just don't want to have sex with her. And I was like, okay, got it. Yeah. They should come over here and talk to us. But anyway.
First of all, I would have told him thank you for not being pregnant. And like you now went in the good book. Okay. So but it kind of goes back to like your intentions. Like some women really, really want children, and so even you can use that for Sex Magick. Like, but I would say people you're trying to do fertility work or like trying to like do reproductive work with Sex Magick or any type of magic, you need to do it like 7 times, like in a row, 7 days. Maybe you need to have sex only during ovulation 7 days in a row, saying this like the specific thing. Like it takes So a lot of people do not get this takes work. Like this is work. It's fun, but it's work. And to get the best results, because people get mad at me. I say this, like everybody ain't meant for everything. Maybe Sex Magick ain't your thing. Like sometimes it's not for me. Sometimes it is.
It's like people who play spades. Everybody
listen,
it's okay.
Like I play spades for play, but give me a phase 10 game. I get y'all.
See what I'm saying?
But y'all always want to, like my folks always want to be like, oh, get in on a spades game. I'm eating, and y'all know when I'm eating, I'm not paying attention. So if I renege, that's not my problem. Mm-hmm. So you have to meet where they at, and I think that's really another important thing about Sex Magick. You have to meet yourself first where you at, and then meet your partner where you at.
Right. There you go.
Okay. Yeah. Since we're gonna say that, since we saying it, we over here, we doing this, we talking about it, we dipping it, we going on. Does one practice Sex Magick first alone and then with a partner? What's your feeling on that?
Absolutely.
By yourself.
I think it's
always the
but not necessary.
Okay.
I think it's desirable because not necessary, because some people are already in a relationship, and then like let's say they're talking to somebody and somebody introduces both of them at the same time. Maybe they won't even have the thought to do it by themselves first.
Okay.
They like engaged in together, or they found out together, and so they went on their own exploration together to begin with. So in that case, I'm like, well, that was an emergent process, and I don't like to mess with emergent processes. So I would say in those cases, then cool, do it. And also, usually I'm gonna say go do it by yourself, figure it out on your own, or like feel into what you're doing, and then do it with another person. So because I don't like to do hard no's a lot of times either, because it's like there's different processes for everybody, and even doing it with somebody else could be like one person's masturbating and the other person's present, but they're not like actually engaging. So that also can be like you're still doing it. You're doing it kind of by yourself, but another person is present, so it's still by yourself in some way.
Energy.
Those are just different.
Definitely.
Or they can be masturbating you.
Say it again, Gene.
But I always give a hard no.
Or they can be masturbating you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Or
so yeah, like I always give a hard no because people don't have boundaries. Like let's be real. Like, and a lot of people don't even know themselves, to even participate with a partner. I'm just like being like really, really frank, and I think it's because of clients I tend to have when they come for love readings and stuff. I was like, every time y'all come to me for love reading, those are not my favorite readings. So 9 times out of 10, spirit gonna be like, break up. But like
people don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear that at all.
But they was like, oh, lady, you're so truthful. Like you help out with the challenges. Then y'all come for a love reading, and the love reading say this, that, and the other. Break up or get your act together, but y'all not. So break up. And so like, and some people, I see some people like, well, maybe we should do sex magic. No, because you don't know your boundaries. You don't like to have casual sex. You have your emotions involved with it too much. Then you create energy. I don't want to say soul tie because we're going to get on another subject of that, but a lot of people disagree with me. That was too. Because a lot of people like, oh, we're so tired. No, baby, you don't have boundaries and you're not a casual sex type of person. It's okay.
Issues, baby.
Right.
Have attachment issues. Yeah. But you want the soul tie, baby. Ain't nobody want to be tied to you. It's okay. It is okay.
You're the only one tied, so it's your rope, baby.
So I always tell people to do it first because a lot of women don't even know how to comment by themselves. They don't know how to comment with their fingers. They don't know what a little O, big O is. They scared to do sex toys. They was told that masturbation is the devil in their church homes. Like, how can you guide somebody to climax and manifest for you when you can't even do that for yourself with the regular stuff? I know I'm preaching right now, but that's something that I teach. I'm like, I'm not going to teach you something and you're not ready for this, that, and other. You don't even know who your higher self is, the intention. So I never guide people to sex magic first, and I never tell them to do with their partner, even if they are together, because y'all got problems. This can amplify it. This can if y'all are not satisfying each other, how y'all gonna manifest? I'm just like, that be my question. I am the person.
Y'all even know
I don't know why. Exactly. I don't know why I'm the person that y'all come to and y'all be upset. Like, I'm the wrong person to come to for love readings. I'm just
yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Real shit though.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes you just have to give people their truth.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm about to take that off my offerings in a minute. Y'all ain't about to keep stressing me.
Yeah, you can't be fucking real with yourself. Like, how and then you're in a relationship and you can't be real with that person too. Like, you setting yourself up for a fucking major downfall. It's like the Tower card in tarot readings, you know what I mean? Like, everything you know is about to fucking, implode and then collapse. So get in tune with your star player, which is your motherfucking self, first and foremost.
Yeah, sex.
I tell folk all the time, Tower card said jump.
Right, exactly. Head first.
I always say that. Tower card say jump. They be like, what? Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
Just know Tower Card said
Jump or crumble, always.
Right. At least with the jump, you made a conscious decision.
Yeah.
They ain't ready. They ain't ready.
Real shit.
Listen.
I've seen that fucking Tower Card come up so many times recently. Heather, you know why.
Mm-hmm.
But like in a lot of the reasons I've done for myself as it pertains to a certain situation, like Tower was like a constant in the fucking reading. So yeah, you know, you gotta know when to jump. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really fall around you and crush you, or you can jump the fuck out and possibly fly. You know what I mean? At least in the back of the car, you know, there's it's a stormy sky, but you know, you see birds flying through stormy skies all the fucking time. You know, it's hard.
Yeah. But people be
Ladies
scared.
to fly, you gotta have a good wig on. No, it's playing. That's
Get home. Like just get you a bonnet.
But
get you a
I do
bonnet.
think a lot. Right. I do think a lot of people are going through ascension right now, or like they're being called to do a little bit more in their work, and what they do in there, or being pushed to go to the next steps. And maybe you know, Sex Magick is for them. Go for it. With discernment, please.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
That's the word I was thinking of so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing that from all of it. Go ahead, Heather.
No, I'm just thinking about this because we're talking about this, and a lot of times, again, when we talk about things, we know that, of course, there could always be negative connotations to anything, but people automatically think negatively when you say stuff like sex magic, right? But it's another opportunity, as we said, for them to experience life growth, whatever you want to call it. It's a new experience if they've never tried it. I think that also when people, and we talked about this before we went on, when people don't know stuff, they will come up with reasons why they can't do things. And it's not even that it's a real concern. It's just something that they'll say in order to feel better about saying no, instead of just saying, well, I'm just scared to try and I don't know what to do. So I'm going to tell you, I heard one time the people did this and it made this happen. And you know, you end up with a lot of that conversation. And then what ends up happening is that you realize that you've been doing it all along anyway. You just didn't know what it was called.
Right. Exactly.
Black people in hoodoo. I'm sorry, I have to put that out there.
Yeah, that's our nature, man. That's our fucking nature.
Yeah.
Hoodoo shit. Like it's like you say something, you think something over and over again. Oh, don't go under that ladder because you know it's bad luck. Say that shit enough times, then it's reality. Like we have to understand how fucking powerful we are by the words that we choose, and the words we utilize to substantiate our experiences in life. Like you have to be so fucking conscious because like you are powerful as fuck, man.
Yeah. Quantum physics say that as we live reality, we create reality. And that's in the good book of quantum physics. I guess quantum physics has a good book, so I'm just gonna say in the good book of quantum physics.
How much was that book? How much was that book?
It was $18 at Barnes and Noble. So check it out. It's called Quantum Physics and Spirituality. Check it out. It's a heavy read, but take through it. But I think with all of this, we can be talking about like how science and spirituality really coincide with each other. Even sex magic, because like all of this is creation, and what's the original reason for sex besides creating pleasure? It's also creating humans, and that is it's such a pure energy. It's something pure about the orgasm. It's something pure about connecting with a partner, whether it's through hetero or homosexual activities.
Right.
Like it's all pure energy, and we see that even through biological creation of another human being. And so I think that's also important to know. Goes back to what the old folks always say, power of the tongue, which we were just saying, Gene. So has been always prominent in all traditions, especially African tradition religions. That's why speaking tongues is so prominent. To this day, although that's like straight African, but don't tell nobody that. They be like, oh no, that's Christian.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Like Christian. Okay. But I think all this is like really important to really build up to this like thing that is sex magic. So yeah.
So going back to what you said about, you just said speaking in tongues. So literally, like in the Bible, that's the logos. You're literally creating things with the words that you speak in the energy that you put out, the passion that you put behind your words. So yeah, like that is a major part of it, which is why we're talking about chanting and whatnot on Sex Magick.
Yeah.
It doesn't be a verbal thing. I'm sorry, an outward thing. But the intention, like being very intentional about the energy that you're putting out to create a specific thing, is exactly exactly what we're talking about, for one, and exactly why it's so important to, when you're creating a ritual of creation, because that's exactly what Sex Magick is. That you're very cognizant, very mindful about the energy that you're putting out. You have to have that. Like without that, you're just throwing energy out there, and you can get anything fucking back.
Yeah, it's some people really go into like the etymology of a word. I'm like, oh, you deep in it.
Etymology is fun.
The building blocks.
Yeah. People like, remember it's spelling. I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, as a Mikio, like I get it. Trust me. So that's something else to think about.
Yeah. So, but let's talk about the orgasm in itself, because being orgasmic and especially having audible sounds to go along with those orgasms, the amount of energy that's created between the sound, that orgasms are powerful, because if the sound of someone else climaxing can turn someone on and also assist them into having their own orgasmic moment, then what kind of energy you possess, or that person possess, or the act possesses. Because if that's what catapults the next person into their own explosion, just think about that.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to be having the sex with that particular person. You can just be hearing them, and it causes something to stir up within you. I felt that.
Right.
I need that.
The word right there.
I want that. So I'll have what you got.
Where you at right now?
I feel like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to leave this phone call right now.
I gotta go.
I'm about to be busy. So,
For about 35, 45 minutes.
Give or take an hour. So, it does that though, like the level of energy you can feel from somebody. And then like people who folks say, you can feel the sexual energy just oozing off of them. It just makes you want to do something. That's powerful.
Yeah.
That you can be standing still, just minding your own business, and people can feel the sexual energy off of you.
Yep. Yeah. That's a person that's in tune with their own fucking energy. Like, all the energy that we have within us is always created, in the sense that, if you focus it on something, that's the beauty of alchemy. Literally taking energy from elsewhere. It can be any energy, and you focus it into something, and you transmute it from one thing to another. It's so powerful that like people around you for miles on end can feel that shit. It's just
Well, yeah, if anyone knows how to, exude that type of sexual energy, please come and teach me, okay? Because I feel like I do not have it. I'm always the like, dang, you a savage, dang, like da 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 da. I'm like, I'm just truthful, but I
But
said this to y'all.
that's sexual energy in itself, though, because it's just a particular type. Like some people exude like the sex kitten, oh, just devour me. And then some people are like, listen, I'm gonna chew you up and I'm gonna spit you out, and this is what we're gonna do. And
Yeah.
you get go over here, stand in line. I ain't got time for that. Close your mouth. We here for one thing. Go home when we done. That's sexual energy.
Exactly. I think I'm in the wrong business because I was like, no, if I was like going into my Monday life is policy. I was like, I could make a killing out here in LA being a dom.
You should.
Like,
you absolutely. There's a girl on TikTok that tells you how to get started. But anyway.
I already follow her, Mistress Marley, and everything. Because I was going to do it, but I was
one that had like there's like a hotline. There's like a dumb hotline. She was like, they're always looking for people.
Man,
yes, I was like, I mean, the man out here for free. I need to get some money out of this.
Right.
But I think it kind of goes back to. Yeah, kind of goes back to Sex Magick because like we have to find like what is sexy to us, and like for me, I was like, you know what, I like, I in my like this year, I was like, this year I'm gonna like get into my sexy bag, blah blah blah. Actually, what I have done, but stay in pajamas, put on a dress if I did not feel like wearing pants. But like you were saying, like even the astrologer I work with who does my chart, he was like, you have a very dominating chart. He was like, it's fluid, but you're gonna have to do a lot with power dynamics. And I think that's important for people to also go back to knowing themselves. So anybody like that power goes back into that sexual magic. Maybe you can get your chart read by Kim. Plug. You're welcome. To really find the energy, because apparently I need to stop trying to be like dainty, sexy.
That's not you. That's not who you are. Listen, I challenge you to this though. Like I'm gonna give you a homework assignment because I feel like I can. So your homework assignment is you're gonna keep a sex journal, and you're gonna keep a sex journal, and in your journal. It's just like when you like start date such and such. I was on the ship and I saw the other people. Yeah, all that. And you're gonna keep a journal of, even if you don't have any form of sex, we're gonna talk about sexy moments for you. Like I was watching such and such on TV and I really felt like that was a sexy person, or I, felt a tingle in a couple of places. I felt the butterfly flutters in places. And see where it's connected to.
Right. Yeah.
Keep it for like a week. Let's start doing that.
That's
and see where you can start kind of honing where that energy is and see what it is that because we all got all this energy everywhere, but it's where you want to focus it toward. So keep a sex journal. Also, when you have your moments, you need to talk about before, during, and after. And we're going to see where the ebbs and the float, like where the peaks and the valleys are. What were you thinking about at that time? What were the scents? What were the smells? What was the non-music, since you don't like music? What was all of those things, so that you can get an understanding of who you are.
Yeah.
Let's do that for what? Let's do that for 14 days.
Oh, that sounds dope.
Come on, it's so funny how the tables have turned because I'm usually giving you an assignment.
Right? Yeah. I'm like, no, I have homework for you, babe. I got homework. See, this is up my alley. We're gonna keep that sex journal. Yeah, and it'll just kind of see where you're going. And then what you'll find though, like once you start keeping that journal, then you can go back and kind of compare notes to like where you started versus where you are. And if there's something that you want or, want to aspire to, then you'll start seeing that those things will start making its way toward what you want instead of what you are or what you have.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Manifestation, goddamn.
Y'all, I hope everybody in the audience writing this down because she just gave you no tip that she probably charged for.
That's a freebie, baby. That's a freebie.
Come on.
Yeah.
Like we be sex journaling, and I always tell them, don't be putting it in your reg. Don't use none of your children's old composition books from school. Get you a special journal.
It's so funny.
I'm a client. I know it well.
Don't be pulling out them old sheets where they wrote today is Monday, yesterday was Sunday. Now get a book that's just for you, that's specific to you, that's special to you, and you keep that as your sex journal. Yeah. And don't type it in a phone. Write it down.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that.
Yeah.
Sex journaling. Woo.
Yeah, I will say it just sounds
now
like
watch that everybody will be like, yeah, I'm gonna do a sex journal. Yeah.
Y'all heard it here first.
So Lady D, it just sounds like you just need the right energy around you to get you to the place that you're looking for. Mm-hmm. It just seems like the people are not on your level. And that's just what it is. You're looking for something different and niggas ain't on that.
Yeah, you know what? Most men are very much so intimidated by me. So I love it. I honestly love it. I was like, I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm actually the bully around here. So right.
We have to change that. Instead of saying most men are intimidated by me, most men I come in contact with.
Right, there you go.
Because there's a man out there that wants to eat that up.
Yeah.
There's a man out here right now, I just can't wait till she show her ass so I can show mine.
You know what? It's a couple I have in my reservoir. They just not on the West Coast no more. I mean, at all. All my men are on the East Coast in the South.
But planes go, East and West.
Yeah, but my bank account don't. So and they
but theirs do. Somebody once told me you don't bring it to them, baby. They bring it to you.
I don't. Oh, that's one thing I don't. So I don't know why I said that.
So they bank accounts. Yeah, they bank accounts will be able to handle that.
Yeah, but go and send me that hotline so I can make me some extra money out here. Rent due in the next week or so.
Let me find that on TikTok again so I can send that to you.
Oh, okay.
You can do that from home. That's a work from home situation right there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be on the phone cooking chicken.
Right.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the predominant stuff in her journal.
Right, exactly.
Our dear journal. Yeah. I was on the phone cooking chicken. Right.
This one time at band camp. That's what happened.
Next week I'm gonna update y'all. Don't be shy, nigga.
Okay. I'm ready. You keep on. I'm gonna be doing a dating game via satellite for you on here too.
I can totally see it be a plot twist. I want to be dommed on.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Tell me why I should be your dom.
Okay. No, hold on. That's a money maker. Hold on. We need to cut this video off. That's about to steal the idea. I don't have time.
Let's just get off the thing.
Money maker.
Let's wrap this up for the public. Did we cover everything tonight? Because next week will be the last installment of the Sex Magick series. So let's see. We've talked about I'm trying to find my little sheet. We talked. Where'd it go, Heather? Okay. Yeah, this is what happens when I They done moved me outside of my comfort zone. I'm learning. So today was about the chanting and enjoying the moment. The first ones we talked about were basics. So we talked about that. We talked about pondering the result. And now we're going to get into feeling the actual moment and then letting it go. That's what next week is about. So we're being in the moment, like really feeling the moment. I see your finger up.
You see it?
Your finger.
So we missed out on candle and sigil magic.
We did. So we're gonna drag. We're gonna add that in. Why did she say
that's
drag?
important. Dragging their bodies in the room.
We're gonna drag it in. Yeah, we're gonna add that in, and y'all, to be honest, I think we depending on what next week is looking, may come back later on, after a break, and even kind of expound on what we started with this series. But we're definitely going to bring that in as well. Y'all want to bring y'all favorite candles on? My favorite candle is Lady D, Emerald candle. So
Yeah,
oh, Heather, girl, I just did your body oil today.
You got my body oil?
I want some.
Yeah, see,
inbox me your information. I'll get whatever the fuck you got.
I smell so magical. Like I am such a unicorn when I put that body oil. Such a unicorn. I love it. Like I recommend it, y'all. Like when you get out the shower, like if you're taking a bath, you just sitting there, just a couple of drips in the tub, or like when you fresh out the shower and let it hit your skin. I like to put it on while I'm still in the shower, and like how shiny and moisturized my skin is when I step out, and I don't have to put lotion on. I'm just glistening, child. I'm a whole goddess when I walk up out there. I'm like, hi, peasants.
If you put on oil like 20 minutes before you hit the shower, and then you like wait or get yourself a little sweaty, and then let the hot shower penetrate you and go in, it makes your skin more shiny too. It's really fun.
See,
okay, you better tell us pro tip.
Listen, I can't. I don't know if they can take it. I don't know if they can.
Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this shit?
Y'all ready?
Yes, but yeah, I most definitely made my body oil today. And I had the Isley Brothers on in the background. I was mixing and pouring and stuff.
So you do like music while you getting creative?
What's the creative? A different type
of yeah. Okay, when I'm conjuring, yeah, sure. But during sexy time, like I'm trying to concentrate. We trying to help each other out. I want to hear you. I don't want to hear the music. That's how I am, which is like really weird because like I'm a person, like in order to do work, I have to have something in the background to like, I don't know if it's like ADHD
when we get offline. We're gonna deep dive when we get offline. when we get off this live, we're gonna deep dive for a minute.
We diving, y'all. Let's
We're gonna do a little fact finding.
Let's go. Hey, this one's
I'm scared.
Let's go. Hey, so this woman and I, we talk about a lot of shit in the back. Get ready for this
shit. Yeah, we're gonna do that. So we want everybody to know, yes, pay attention for next week's. In fact, I might go ahead and put up the graphic for next week when we end this live. But we definitely want to make sure we end the Sex Magick series with a lot of the information, the oils, the candles, the ambience of it all, getting it together. We might need to get them some literature too, y'all. They might need some help. So
I got 3.
All right, cool.
3 books.
Yeah. Hey, I know that book. I know that book.
Yeah. I got 3 more for you though. I got another version of the Kama Sutra. With 2 sex books. No worries. Yeah, we're gonna drop that on.
We're about to have a book club. Check this out. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Moist money is
Look,
moist.
I had a chakra reading before this, so we have to get it together.
No,
Come on now. Come on, Chakra.
yeah, we're gonna have a whole fucking series of shit going on for their asses. Y'all get ready for this shit. We ain't done. We just started.
Yeah, we just got started. We just tipped the iceberg right at this point. We're at the tip of the iceberg. Y'all, let's get on and out of here. Let me get everybody's contact information. Go ahead, Cameron.
Yeah, so
I
as you
added your
see,
email.
oh, nice, appreciate that. Yeah, so you can find me through email. If you're in Memphis, Tennessee, just reach out via email because I do way more stuff in Memphis than I do on my website, or you can just message me on Instagram. I also haven't even said that I do practice Reiki too, and then I also have a biomat for people. And so, yeah, I've left those things out before, but I do, and I probably do other stuff that I'm not saying. So just hit me up and we can tune in. And I usually do all those things through the lens of astrology first, just to get an orientation and then move forward. So yeah, reach out.
Very nice, very nice. Come on, lady.
I do everything from personalized astrology candles, regular scented candles, to self-love body oils, which we were talking about, which also doubles as a conjure candle. Apparently that's what my customers have been saying. But I also am a medium that really focuses on ancestral readings. So I get the okay from my spirits to extend my ancestral readings until July 10th. So you just click the link and sign up, and you see all my readings, and that has been extended. And also I'm extending the days you can order a candle until June 30th. So I'm putting another plug. Some people have been asking for a basic mediumship class, and so that will be coming soon. So if you click the link, you will sign up to become an emerald, and then you'll be the first to know when I start that class. So yeah, that's my spiel.
Look at you. Look at you. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Come on, Jane.
Yeah, so I am the man for all of your fitness nutritional needs. I'm a certified yoga instructor, 200 hours working on my 500-hour YTT, letting you know. Also certified yoga Pilates instructor, certified personal trainer, certified nutritional counselor. So anything that you need as it pertains to your nutrition, your health, having your body and your mind at the optimal levels, I'm the guy to holler at internationally and nationally. Also, two of my specialties outside of that in the spiritual realm are Sex Magick practices and tantric sexuality practices. So if you ever need those things, hit me up at premierfitnessmemphis@gmail.com or check out my YouTube page, youtube.com, premierfitness0210.
Right. And it's me, y'all. It's Heather. And Heather's Passion Academy. So I am your neighborhood sexuality and intimacy coach. I'm also a bedroom candy boutique consultant, and that's consultant number 8497. So I'll help you troubleshoot all of those sexuality and intimacy challenges you may have. We'll go ahead and troubleshoot them. We'll go ahead and meet those challenges, overcome any of those things that you feel like you need to overcome. And coming soon, I'll be doing a little tarot with my practice as well, but not today.
Finally!
I've been working on it. I have. I'm still doing free readings right now, so y'all better get in while I'm doing them free readings because I ain't gonna be free too much longer.
Okay, let's start with that.
Gotta start somewhere. So yeah, we thank you all for joining us again. Y'all join us next week. We'll wrap up this 4-part series, and hopefully you guys have gotten some type of value out of it while we were acting silly. But as we act silly, we do impart a lot of knowledge, and we want y'all to join us next time. We really appreciate. First of all, I thank y'all for joining us because usually it's me and Jean acting a whole fool, but we done dragged y'all into our craziness. So we thank y'all for being a part of this ride this time.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having us.
No problem. Okay. So you guys, we will see you all next week and come on back as we finish up this series. And yeah, we'll see y'all later. Thank y'all. Bye. Y'all say bye.
Peace.
Peace and love, y'all.
Bye.